You're right. So, in this video, I'm gonna be doing a rant on rap music and why it sucks. So rap music, for the most part, mainly what it talks about is a lot of vulgar stuff about women. They talk about drugs, they talk about gangs, they talk about abusing women and acting all tough, acting all edgy, having an egotistical attitude, and it's disgusting. There's like way better genres out there other than rap. I'm not, and if I'm being honest, I never listen to rap nowadays. Nowadays, I listen to metal, rock, stuff that's like hard, rugged, and makes you want to headbang. I always listen to the classics of metal. Metallica, Iron Maiden, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, Testament, all those 80s thrash bands that were really great back in their heyday. And besides, rap wasn't even a thing in the 80s. You had rap groups like NWA, but it was nothing special. It was mainly them and Outkast, but nobody cared about that stuff. You either liked metal and rock, or you liked Michael Jackson and Madonna in the 80s. Nobody cared about no hip hop or rap crap. And besides, there's a reason why metal fans like myself bash rap music, because it's boring. Do you ever see like rappers playing guitar? Do you ever see like rappers playing real instruments? No, because they're just no good. They're just no good. And a lot of times, being a rapper it doesn't really take talent. I mean, if you want to be lyrical, that's like the only part that really takes talent, but other than that, like the drums, the bass, the guitars, it's all sampled. There's no guitar in rap music. Unless you're talking about like Beastie Boys and Rage Against the Machine and Red Hot Chili Peppers. And most rap fans don't even like that stuff. That those bands appeal more to the rock and roll fans of the world. So yeah, rap music, it's just boring, and I get hated on a lot for not liking it. And to be honest, I don't really care either way. People are saying I'm a metal elitist, this and that, which I'm not a metal elitist. A metal elitist hates all music that isn't metal and rock. I don't act like that. I mean, I'll tolerate, I'll tolerate some rap if it's like if I come across it while I'm listening to music in public. But it's not something I'll go out of my way to see. To see or listen to. And I'm just so tired of people, hyping up rap and hip hop like it's this great genre of music. It's not. Rap music is not real music. Because it's just a bunch of disgusting things. And even the 90s rap from back in the day, even the rap music from the 90s back in the day was not good. Because even though there was a lot of lyrical storytelling in the songs, it was still talking about, bitches and hoes and objectifying women and these rappers acting like it's cool to do that shit. It's not. Never was cool to do that, and it never will be cool to do that. Rap is just a genre that is for people that don't really know anything about music. People that don't know anything about music, people that don't know anything about, like different types of guitar tunings, different types of guitar chords, time signatures for drummers. Like, musicians don't listen to rap. If you want to be a real musician, play music from like Metallica or Rush or Dream Theater or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or Motorhead or even Megadeth. Anything metal, hard rock, anything that has real instruments in it. Like, rock and metal is like the go-to if you want to be a real musician. Not even say country has real instruments in it. Country has real instruments. Classic rock songs that everybody knows. But as far as music genres that don't have real instruments, I would say like EDM, house music, trap music, trap rap. Anything to do with rap and electronic instruments and electronic sounds, it's not a real instrument. It's not real music to me. Real music has to have instruments that have real, original sounds coming out of the instruments. And there's like so many genres and subgenres of music that have real instruments. Even like punk rock, metal, thrash metal, death metal, doom metal, deathcore, metalcore, like even like the alternative rock stuff, like, Green Day and Blink-182 and all that. Even that has real instruments. And musicians, like, musicians aren't going to take you seriously if you musicians aren't going to take you seriously if you play nothing but rap and hip hop. There's a reason why people call rap music rap crap. There's a reason why people refer to it like that, because it's crap, because it's not real music, because it's just boring. There's no story to it. Like, very rarely these, especially in today's rap, you won't even find a a rapper or a hip hop artist talking about a deep story. You want to talk about like history and stories. That is what Iron Maiden is for. There's a bunch of Iron Maiden songs out there that have stories based on real stuff. Even Metallica, they have a lot of their old songs from those classic albums. Songs from like Ride the Lightning and Justice for All and Master of Puppets that are all based on historical stuff. Like Run to the Hills is about Native Americans and the war on all of that. For Whom the Bell Tolls is actually based on this on a novel by Ernest Hemingway of the same name. Call of Cthulhu is actually based off of the novel by H.P. Lovecraft. Master of Puppets is about, you know, why it's like so bad to do drugs, and like why drugs are so bad for you, and why getting into those kinds of addictions is horrible. All those like deep meaningful songs, like One and Fade to Black and Welcome Home Sanitarium and all that, that is all based on real life stuff, real addictions that people went through, you know, real life stuff that people actually experience in real life. Is there any of that in rap music? Hell no. Even if you go back to the rap music from the 90s, there is nothing. There's nothing like that. Even Am I Evil from Metallica, which is about being against like the Nazis and Germany and all that. World War II type stuff. And like another example, War Pigs, Black Sabbath. It's about the pointlessness of war and why war is like so pointless and stupid and is run by politicians who want nothing but corruption, power, money, greed, and all that stuff. Hell, one of the lyrics actually says politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war. Even like back to Metallica 1 and Disposable Heroes. Disposable Heroes is actually a tribute to the fallen soldiers and basically the fallen military soldiers of our military. People that gave their lives so that this country, the United States of America, is a free country, and it's all thanks to them. So Metallica, Iron Maiden, Anthrax, all these legendary metal bands, they are the ones out here supporting our troops, supporting our veterans, supporting our military. Do you ever see rappers thanking our military and our vets and all those types of people? Hell no. Because rap, like I said, rap is all about, F that bitch, F that hoe, it's disgusting. Like, why do rappers want to encourage this? And I even talk to some women out there that listen to this and defend this kind of garbage. I'm like, so you're a woman listening to these lyrics, listening to how sick and disgusting and egotistical and ignorant these rappers and these lyrics are. You're like, why are you... They're like, it's just music. I'm like, no, it's not just music. It's women getting objectified. It's rappers portraying women as objects. So if people think that this is real music, or if this is cool, or if this is what real storytelling is about, no, it's not. All those song titles by those metal bands and all those classic albums by those metal bands that I just mentioned offers way, way, way more than anything rap music has to offer. Even Tupac's deepest songs, or even, any of the 90s rappers' deepest songs don't come anywhere near close to the deep stuff that these metal bands talk about. That's why metal is my favorite genre. It's the genre with the most meaningful song topics, and it's the genre that gives me the most energy. Nothing really beats metal, to be honest. People are still listening to the old classic 80s metal bands, and there's even a lot of 2000s metal bands that are becoming legendary, like System of a Down, Linkin Park, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, and all that. Even Pantera is legendary, but Pantera was out in the 90s. Still pretty modern to me. Even Ronnie James Dio, he had a quote that says, "If you listen to fools, the mob rules." Meaning, if you listen to the wrong people, then you get the wrong advice. Be a leader, not a follower. Go your own way. Don't let people tell you how to live your life or tell you what you should be doing in your life. Even, and a lot of and another thing I forgot to mention is that as far as Metallica goes, they also have a lot of songs which quote the Bible. Holier than thou. Before you judge me, take a look at you. Or, gossip burning on the tip of your tongue. Why don't you worry about yourself instead? That goes out to all the people worrying about what everybody else in the world is doing, worrying about what someone else's business is, even if it has nothing to do with them. It's pathetic, It's pathetic and stupid. Pathetic and stupid. Even Creeping Death, which is about Creeping Death by Metallica. Another great song. Slaves, Hebrews born to serve, to the Pharaoh. Heed to his every word, live in fear. Like, if that isn't the coolest opening line to a song, I don't know what is. That's basically the story of Moses, but turned into a metal song. Or I've even heard that Creeping Death is about the 10th plague of Egypt, which is really cool. And a lot of Maiden songs from Iron Maiden have historical themes too, like Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is about a poem that was written in the 1700s. It's got a very historical reference about albatrosses and water and, sailing across the river and all that cool stuff. So yeah, if you want to listen to real music, that is real music. Real music that tells a story. Music that is actually based on real history. I would even go as far as saying like Iron Maiden is a great band to listen to, and Metallica too, and all the metal bands. They are great historians. They are great historians. If you ever want to learn history, if you ever want to learn about historical figures, even Iron Maiden has a song called Alexander the Great, which is literally about Alexander the Great, which is amazing that a metal band that good can make songs about that kind of stuff. There's a reason why these 80s metal bands and not these modern metal bands are legends. 80s metal will always be superior to modern metal. But yeah, this is exactly why modern old school metal is better than modern metal. And it's also the reason why rap music will never, ever, ever be in the same subject or even as good as real metal. All right, that's it. I'm out.